Right, hello YouTube, welcome back to more Kerbal Space Program. The last episode was a little bit rough. We attempted to launch the first part of our space hotel, but we're having signal issues. I don't really want to be filling it up with pilots because we're going to need them later. But our transmitter system is having some issues and we're having trouble setting up any kind of AI probes, which I'd really like to do a bit more with anyway. So today we're going to be bolstering up the satellite network. We're going to be launching more transmits. What I'm thinking we're going to do, we're going to try and roughly triangulate them or set up enough that we have a signal fairly all the time, fairly reliably. And then we'll either launch some more transmits or boost the current ones to a higher altitude where they get a much better angle and will stay in transmission range for longer. Because it's a real pain not really being able to use these at all. Drone AIs, the probe calls are useful. So, like I say, we want to roughly put these about a third of the way around the world. So we'll wait until the last one is about there relative to us. So about there. In fact, we probably want to wait until the last one's nearly out of range and then launch another one. We might have to launch a few. I may even skip some of this on editing, but... Or not editing, but I might just launch a few outside of the episode. Yeah, because our transmission range is very limited. Okay, we'll launch the next one now. It's probably been about the right place. Again, we're very limited in the range. Alright, launch. Go. Water stage all the way down to stage 0. You need to. But yes, it's very awkward at the moment. What we might even do is wait for the first one to get a signal and then send an order to this one to kick itself into high orbit and get straight up to high orbit, because I think triangulating them is going to be way easier from up there. We'll maybe send this out to a little above the altitude that our space station lives at. We'll maybe send it out to like 370, 380 maybe. Kilometers, or 3,800. But yes, I think if this one gets ahead of us and then we send the order to go up, we should be okay. I think we'll still be able to just about communicate with it if we're about here. But we'll have to see. Yeah, that'd be the idea. Use the first one's connection to ground control to send this one way up. Ensure it's going to get a constant signal. I think it is because we forgot to do signal transmitters at all the launch sites as in the options at first, although it might just be that wasn't an option, I'm not sure. Again, either way, it's starting to cause problems for our space program, so it's a problem we need to solve. We are still trying to build the space hotel. That's kind of our next big mission, is to build the space hotel to try and help fund future projects, which that project being to head all the way out to Eeloo on a big colony ship, and maybe one to Moho as well. Haven't fully decided on that yet. But again, for now, we need to build the space hotel, and that is proving to have its own problems. Quite annoying ones at that actually. Should be about the same altitude. Yeah. So it should be on 80-kilometer orbit. Now, hopefully, again, by the time we get to the top, we will still have we will get a signal to the SO1. But I'm not sure. If we don't, we've maybe left it a bit late, but we'll see. As long as they can talk to each other, that's the main thing. Or we could potentially wait until we've just got a signal and then launch, and that will relay it while we go higher up. In fact, no, we want this one to go higher up the moment it gets a signal, I think is right, and then... Yeah, that's right. Oh, the only thing is I've realised if we do that, we're going to be higher at the far end. Building this network's going to be a pain. And it is going behind the planet as well. We're not going to be able to talk to that so easily. Right. At least with 2, maybe we could launch a 3rd higher up. Like wait for that one to start getting a signal, and then by the time we get to the high altitude, this one will still be in range. I think that'll work. I think we'll have to launch a 3rd one, but... we should be able to get this into orbit before it loses signal. We were okay with that before. Or the other one made it, at least, I should say. Only just. The other thing we could do is have a polar one set up as well to further increase our transmission sort of ability, I guess, and range and everything. Sure, these are active, so we can actually talk to things. Power wasn't an issue before. It was actually okay for electrical power. Probably the direction we want it facing is probably radial minus, no, radial in, radial positive even. That should point us outwards to transmit out with this antenna to any higher up, basically. Because there was something about actual transmission angles. Right, Space Center. We will now launch the third one, and we will wait for the first of the two relays to get in range, and then launch. And I think it'll do our high altitude burn, and then by the time we've drifted up to the high altitude, the other one will be in reach. And once we've got one higher up, it will make it way easier to launch more, because we get a much bigger cone of like coverage. And these are not. The good news is the transmitters are not hugely expensive. I think they're about. Oh, they're even less than I thought. I thought they were about 25,000, but they're actually only about 15,000. So they are cheap. We can launch plenty of these. Not maybe as cheap as I'd like, but not particularly expensive either, really. So maybe even possible to just simplify them and just launch them off a single tank, but if that's maybe cheaper, but you need a more expensive engine, which might be more. So I don't know whether it evens out or not, but we have a design that works for now, so we'll stick with it. Right. You're going to launch to 380. We're going to try and go all the way up in one go. We're going to launch the moment that first transmit gets in range. Again, hoping the second one will cover us for the rest of the launch. See, they actually orbit quite quickly. An orbit of Kerbin, I think, only takes about 20 minutes in real time. Something like that. Right. We're in. Go. Transmit 3 is go. On this one, we'll activate the antennas as soon as we can. Just to make sure it's definitely got the reach. Range shouldn't be an issue. It really is just the coverage angles that have been a pain in the backside, basically. Right. But at least ascending's going smoothly. They don't seem to have had any particular problems in actually carrying out their missions, this rocket design. It's just the signal on the ground. I don't know whether improving the radio center? What is it called? The tracking station actually improves that or not, but I'd like to think so, but I don't know. Oh, we could have put a gold fairing on the space station core. Oh, mind you, we haven't launched it yet. We can still do that. Yeah, because I forgot we found that. It looked quite sleek. Doesn't match so well with the rest of the colours on the rocket, but I like it as it's on its own, at least. Gold and white's always a nice colour scheme. Where we're looking. Okay, that's still overhead. That's coming to meet us. I think this will be about right. I think by the time we're drifting up to high altitude, that second one will be in range, but we'll have to see. It might be that we need to launch even earlier, but again, I don't know. It's definitely talking to us, that other one, at the moment anyway, so the relaying part of it works. It is at least able to reach us range-wise. I do wonder if what stuff like this is going to be like with Kerbal 2. Because again, they're doing a sequel. Should be out soon, October-ish, I believe. Or autumn-ish even. So soon is kind of soon, but soon enough. You know, it's good. We are getting it, at least. At least I believe it's 2022 anyway. I hope it's not 23. But they're doing a lot of new stuff, and I am really wondering how a lot of it's going to work, because they've been fairly quiet about it. We haven't got anywhere near as much info on it as I'd really, really have liked. I'd really like to have seen a bit more about what they're doing. They're sort of keeping everyone a little in the dark on some of it. You know, it's kind of interesting. It means we get some surprises, but it's also a bit like, come on, we want to know. Ooh, that's not... We're going to be a long way round. I hope it can beam around the corner up to there. Yeah, oh, of course, yeah, that was the other problem I realised we had. We're probably going to be around the other side of the planet. I don't know that we're going to get a signal out there. Antenna, activate. Okay, we have at least one running. Oh, we're going to lose signal. Okay, we are relaying from there as intended. No, okay. We're going to need like a third one that's, what, about a quarter of the way around behind? Oh my god, it's like a... I had to play a relay race just to get this thing up here. Right, okay. So, we launch the same again. We launch it, as I said, about a quarter of the way around behind it. It looks like the angle's okay. Looks like we can relay out back to there. But, oh, man. This is getting annoying. I'm just like, every time I think we got this one, it doesn't work. Right. It's not a difficult thing in theory, but like I say, it's been a bit slow. Right. I'll probably skip this one, and I'll get back to you when we... I'll tell you what, I'll skip this one. If I need to launch any more up for this, I will skip them too, and we'll try and get back to you when we're actually, hopefully, I've got the big one about to go into its insertion burn. Alright, we're back. I worked it out. I worked out what I was doing wrong. So, if we want to increase our altitude with these satellites, I was trying launching a fourth one. It was not working. I could not work it out. What we do, when we're in range, we boost our apoaps to higher. I boosted this one to 200. Then, what we do at that point is we just wait. We just let it orbit. The planet rotates, and eventually the space center comes underneath the high point. I can't believe I wasn't thinking of that. So yeah, it's actually not too difficult at all to put them on a higher altitude. Now, we might have to wait until the space center comes underneath us to circularize, but it's really easy. So yeah, we're going to let this one... This is, I believe, one of the early... I think it's actually the first one we sent up. We're to let this one circularize itself, or push itself up to 400, then we'll let the planet orbit around a few times and circularize it, and then we could much more easily start to put the higher ones up. It was really bugging me. I can't believe it was this easy. I did not look this up, by the way. I literally stumbled upon this from stupidity, basically. But it works, so I'm not going to knock it too much. I was wondering, like, how on earth do you do this? We can't do maneuvers while the planet's behind us. And it's like, yeah, but the planet rotates. It's like, yes. Spin. Right. So this one, we now should still be in range. We circularize our apoaps. Okay, these rockets, or these satellites, have plenty of extra fuel to maneuver with. Is it going to do it? Oh, lost connection. Oh, I see. It's waiting for us to gain connection. Should do any minute, because that one will still relay to us. Yeah, and it is indeed working. Yeah, I can't believe I missed that. It was so easy. And we could do that again. On the next ones, we could just go straight up to 400. And it will be easier to pick when they go up to 400 as well, because they'll also have the coverage from the higher one. So yes, this is not as bad as I thought it was, but it was really... I was really stuck on that. It was really annoying me. I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know why I can't work this out. And it's just like, oh, wait, no, I'm stupid. Like, this is easy. There we go. Additionally, because they orbit at different speeds, I can simply wait a bit of time and the other ones will move relative to where they need to be. The one on the ground, we could probably even recover, but we'd probably still launch it. So, we're going to switch to this one, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get them all up to the altitudes they're supposed to be at, which is, I'm going to say it's 400,000, because that's what I did on that one. It's a nice even number. Right, all satellites, I believe, are active. So, we need to go... We have to do after 2 apoaps, after fixed time of just 10 seconds. Push yourself up to 400,000. If we do that now, it should put us roughly opposite the other one, I believe. What we might even do is wait a little bit. Let the other one... Or let us get ahead of it. Yeah. Might have to wait for another orbit for them to sync back up again. We basically want to be waiting until it's still going to be able to give us signal. I think this is right anyway. Anyway, we'll do it now. I'll do it in a moment, and then we'll see how it goes. But yeah, basically, once we get a few up... Is that not the right one? Oh, it's the desert launch site. Ah, okay. Once we get a few up, they'll start to be able to talk to each other more regularly, basically, and then we'll get much better coverage. I think that'd be about right. I try to get them roughly a third apart from each other, but I have absolutely no idea on the timing. I'm just guessing that particular part of it. I think by the time we've floated up there, that'll be right. Whether we'll actually be able to circulate straight away, or we'll have to wait to come round for a few more orbits. But basically, again, try and stick it up to roughly a third of the way around the planet, apart from each other. I don't believe we'll have a signal there yet, so we're going to have to wait for at least one more orbit anyway. Actually, that's about right. That's good. Circularize at apoapse. We're getting there. We're getting the hang of this satellite thing. It will make this work. Apparently we have a temperature scan on board. I don't know why, but go ahead and transmit that while we're here. Oh, was this for a science contract way back? Is that where we actually built the first one of these, technically? Yeah, do we have a transmit science around Kerbin or something, I think? Oh, we lost connection. Oh. Okay. Guess we'll wait another lap. That was nearly good. No, we don't want to do it then, because that's way too close to the other one. Whoop. Space Center is all the way back there now. It is now the Space Center's on the wrong side of the planet, so we'll have to wait for that to come around. It's there, I believe. Where that red dot is that shows up occasionally. No. Okay. Yeah, that one's still too close to really relay a decent amount. Okay, this might be the one if we've still got a signal. Apoapse, I have a feeling we're going to lose it. Try and sectorize there if you can. It's a bit close to the last one, but we just need to get some high altitude coverage. We'll be able to launch to it. Once we have a decent network of satellites above it, we will be able to just launch to the high altitude ones, but no, we lose signal just before we get there. Right, here we go again. One more lap. No, that's too close. One more. Okay, that one will do it. That one will do it. The main bit is we're clear of the planet, and we have a clear line of sight to the other one. As long as we get that, 3 or 4 of them will be enough to talk to each other. And that's good, because that's going to give us a big angle of coverage. Orbital shenanigans, indeed. With this one, but we're getting it. Now we've got one more to boost higher up, and then we'll probably launch the grounded one as well. And then we can finally get back to actually launching the Space Hotel, which might even be in the next episode at this point. How long this is taking. Right, switch to. But at least we're getting something. At least we are getting something, and we're starting to get the coverage better. Man, I didn't realize this is how tricky it was to build. Is this what it's always like in Kerbal? Have I just been playing with that option on, and it's actually always been this difficult? To build a decent little satellite network? I'd say difficult. I don't even know it technically is. It's just... it's difficult to me. Let's see, it's been awkward. Anyway, right. Get yourself up to that altitude. We'll try and again sync it so it can at least talk to one of the others. If possible, yeah. We'll try and get it so it can talk to at least one of the others. And then if there's a gap missing in the network, we'll try and launch one to fill it. We might have to guess on the timing a little bit, but see what we can do. Don't think MechJeb has a tool to just straight up help you build satellite networks, so... Oh, we might be good here. This might be the first time our network comes in useful, because we're going to be ahead, but we can still talk to it. But we're probably a bit close. We'll actually try and hold out to be a bit further back. A bit further out. Yeah, one more orbit. That ought to pass on a good thing, but... Oh, that's about right. We need full coverage. That is the idea of this, after all. I might skip the next actual launch and just skip to getting it into position. But we'll see. Again, there is there's another transmit sat on the launch pad. I have to admit, I've lost track of how long this episode's gone on for at this point. I do not know. That should outrun us a little bit, I think. Or do we catch up to it? I'm not sure. Either way, it might be a sort of very wonky pentagon that we end up with for satellite coverage, I think. What we'll do, once we've got what we think is full coverage, again, I might cut out bits of this and just show the getting them into place. Then we'll do an orbit or two and we'll see if it looks like we're still getting a fairly consistent signal. They might drift apart a little bit. I don't know that their orbits are perfect. But I think they're close enough that it'll take a very long time for them to really drift apart. Right, so let's go to the one on the launch pad. And we'll launch another one. Space Center. And again, we'll cut to when it's hopefully in place. Alright, we're back. I think the sound is broken. I don't know why, but I've come back. I had to pause it over lunch. And I've come back and I'm getting almost no sound for the game. What I will probably do is we'll get this one into orbit. And then, because this episode's ran on a bit weirdly anyway, we'll call it. And we'll just we'll continue on with the sort of launching the satellite network next time, unless we've already got it all up. Oh no, there it is. It's back. Yeah, at least an antenna activated. A couple in this case. Hopefully, thanks to this, we will still have connection while this one goes up. I think we're going to need 5. I think we're going to need 1 to fill that gap. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to time that, but I guess we'll see how it goes. But yes, we just about still have a signal because it's relaying from that one, I think, to that one, or possibly even straight to that one. Yes, we nearly have a network. If we can get one up roughly between these two, I think we'll have a full connection. Which is good. Hooray! You know, we finally got it, and then we'll actually be able to launch the yes, we're in orbit. We'll be able to launch the Space Hotel. So what I'll probably do, off camera, I'll probably launch the last one. Try and get it to there. I think I even know how to do that, because I believe with this one, we launched it the moment that one came into range. So if we do that again, it should put us about here, and that should be it. So, if I know, we'll do that on this episode. We'll do that to wrap it up. I'm not quite sure how long we've been running for, but it shouldn't take too long. Gonna lose track a bit because I had to cut this one up a bit. I think it's going to be a bit fragmented, but well, cut this one up a bit. What do I mean? Break it up into multiple recordings because there's some weird issues in general. They've been a bit annoying, but I think we're finally getting there. Right, one last one to go up. One last launch for the transmit, at least for now. I'm glad it finally did do what it was set out to do. I cannot believe it was that easy to get them to high orbit. It's like, wait, the planet rotates. Doug, you could just wait. You just wait for it to be underneath you at the right time. You can, once you got it into low orbit, it's fine. You're there. But yes, so hopefully we'll get this up. We'll hopefully have a complete network. I don't know if I remember to extend the other antenna on the other one, but I'll maybe go through all of them on the map and just make sure they're all fully extended and everything. Make sure they're all ready to fly. So we do now. We wait for that one to just be getting a signal on the Space Center, and then we launch. And the idea is, between them all, we have full coverage. Or at least full enough for what we're trying to do anyway. Slow down because I'll be in range any minute. There we go. Engage. Go. We have a bit more leeway time because they're higher up. Their orbit is effectively slower because they've got to go further. The LTV-45 is very quiet. I don't know if that's the sound going or if it is just that quiet. It feels a bit weird to me that it's that silent. I figure I might maybe restart the game after this one. I think Kerbal tends to have a few issues with if it's running too long, or at least my installation of it seems to. That's not too bad. But yes, hopefully this one's been enjoyable, even if we didn't end up doing quite what we planned to. But as you can see, as you've seen throughout these episodes and also with today's, your missions don't always go the way you think they will. You might find there's other bits you need to do first. and whatnot, but you can do it. It's certainly always doable, for the most part anyway, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of thought, again, like that whole little, like, oh, right, yeah, I can just wait on the orbit, and it'll get into place eventually. But yes, again, I believe with these 5 up, we should have, I think, full coverage. I think there will always be a signal to ground control. If this last one leaves too much of a gap, because I think this will be the widest gap, it should in theory be about that distance apart, which I put it here. If that doesn't get a signal to there, we could always launch one last one, but I think this is actually going to be enough, because those two are quite a lot further away and they still have a signal. You only need to clear the Earth. You could probably do it with 4, I reckon. Oh, Kerbin even. I reckon 4 that were really neatly aligned would do this. Guess the LTV-45 is just a bit spooky. That doesn't sound like a rocket engine to me. That just sounds like howling winds. Like some kind of spooky castle or something. What I'll also do is I'll start renaming the satellites so we can keep track of which is which. We'll number them 1 through 5. Make the checks a little easier to do as well so I can keep track of which ones I've done already. Again, you can rename craft and flight. All you have to do is right click on the on your pod, which I was going to do, but it then threw me off by the coupling. That's the battery. That's the command core. No, the hex. And vessel. We'll call this transmit 5. Yeah, I rather like the Roman numerals for naming my stuff. Now, we might need some bigger relay satellites at some point, but for now, these should be perfectly fine. Kerbal system is not enormous. It's obviously big. It's still space, but we should still be able to reach out to the far end of it without enormously powerful transmitters. Although we probably will need 1 tier up from what we've got. But what we could do there, even, is put it in quite a wide polar orbit, higher than the current ones are orbiting flat. And what that will do is that should mean we almost always get a signal from that. Should always be able to talk to the satellites around Kerbin, no matter where they are. Should mean it's high enough out anyway. Far enough out. High enough out? What am I saying with these words today? Right, anyway. I think this is about right because it'll catch up by the time we get up there. So this should look quite close to that, and then we should drift backwards again to about there-ish, I believe, on the orbit, relative to that one. It is a good rocket. So being a tiny bit slow feeling. The actual rocket itself that they're launching on is not at all bad. It's just, again, we've had some awkwardness. Ooh, that's further up than I thought it would be. I hope that I'm still right in that it will act as intended. Right. Antenna out. Hey. Got all of them this time if we run out of time. Oh, look at that. That's about perfect. There we go. It's a little wonky, but we have our basic little comms net. Getting the full force of the sun as well. Kerbal. Yeah, Kerbin and Kerbal for the sun. Right. Oh, excellent. Well, there we go. It's a little wonky, but we have our communications network, and I believe if we do a full orbit, thank you, hit film, there shouldn't ever be a point where we lose connection. No, because that one comes back up before the others lose it. Yeah, it doesn't go red. I think we actually have full coverage. Excellent. Right, I will see you all next time on YouTube. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, even if it wasn't quite what we planned. Next time we will actually launch the start of the Space Hotel and design the next segment for it. Hopefully you'll look forward to it, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.